heritage, our tradition, our future. Today, we become.
In this episode of Premier Interschools Rugby, we look ahead to this Saturday's derby between rivals Paarl Boys High and Roos Gymnasium, live on SuperSport. The month of May closes out with one of the biggest matchups in schoolboy rugby, as Paarl Boys High and Roos battle it out for supremacy in the Boerland.
A very traditional fixture against a traditional foe whom we respect, and it's always a keen challenge to play against them. They've upped their game and it's become an incredible close contest ever since, so we're really looking forward to the match.
Paarl Roos Boys High wedstryd gaan 'n tipiese derby wees wat amper so 'n toetsatmosfeer gewees. Daar gaan duisende ondersteuners wees wat albei spanne gaan ondersteun en ons as skool sien baie daarna in die geleentheid en die challenge.
Yeah, the boys are looking really fit. There's looking some good structures and good systems going on in there. Yeah, it's a couple of guys from last year that I played with.
Dit is 'n groot fight tussen albei skole vir die wen. Ek dink dit is ewe belangrik vir ons albei om die game te wen. En ja, dit was nog elke jaar 'n harde game vir 'n groot game en ek dink die skole geniet dit om teen mekaar te kompeteer op die cheerleaders doen hulle ding, die gees is altyd on point en ja, dit is net 'n groot belewenis om net 'n deel te wees daarvan.
Paarl Boys High have enjoyed dominance in this fixture of late, winning 6 of the last 8 encounters. However, the scoreboard will tell you that there's been very little between the two schools. Boys High dominance in recent times has come off the back of 2 unbeaten seasons for the first team that saw them finish as the top-ranked team in South Africa in 2015 and 2016.
Boys High het 2 baie goeie seisoene gehad die laaste 2 jare en soos ons vir die seuns gesê het, dit maak nie saak wat in die verlede gebeur het nie, al wat tel is wat Saterdag kan gebeur en enige span kan enige dag wen.
Het is ongelooflik moeilik om teen hulle te speel. So ek sê die ouens is baie trots op hulle trui, hulle tradisie, sterk seuns, groot seuns, seuns wat ons seuns ook baie goed ken. En ja, dit mag wees dat ons nou 'n paar keer gewen het, sê maar die afgelope 10 jaar, maar dit is nooit maklik nie. Dit is maar taai om teen ouens te speel.
This special rivalry has produced some unique moments through the years, none more so than in 1994.
One that I will never forget is the 1994 match, where at halftime we were 23-0 down, and everybody was very despondent. And I went up to the boys and I said to them, "This is a good match to win." And some of our old boys were actually leaving, but on the stand, our boys, we were absolutely magnificent. And the game ended. We lost the match, but it was such a moral victory for us. The score was 23-22. And right at the end, our captain was just carried back from the try line, and we actually called that the day of the Blue Blazer, where Boys High really stood up for what they believe in. And I think from then on, things did change, and it's been an incredible journey after that.
One of the many close-fought matches between the schools took place in 2013, when Sharks and South African under-20 front-ranker Thomas du Toit led Boys High to the narrowest of victories.
The game was actually over, and we had a more opportunity and we scored at the very end to win the game. When you're at Boys High, you get this never die attitude, and I think that's the type of attitude we had. We played till the very end, and I think we believed, and from the beginning we never thought that it would be a loss for us that day. So we believed that we could win, and we kept having that faith and that belief throughout the whole game.
Fast forward to 2017, and du Toit's grade 8s are now the young men donning the famous first team strip for the Boys High men.
Dit is een van ons top 3 wat ons speel in die jaar en dis altyd maar net 'n groot derby tussen ons en Paarl Roos. Die old boys is altyd daar en ook massive toeskouers in ons.
Dit gaan definitief 'n baie harde wedstryd wees en soos teen Gam gaan dit maar afkom na die einde toe. Ons gaan 'n volle 70 minute moet speel en ons gaan met hard werk.
The 2016 encounter between the schools saw Boys High claim a fairly convincing 28-3 win over Paarl Roos at the Makata Stadium in Stellenbosch.
Yeah, I think last year Paarl Roos, some of the highlights, we started off the game, it's a really tough affair. I think, when you go and play Paarl Roos, it's always intimidating. You've got that crowd that sort of sticks behind their team. But I remember one of the highlights being for me our number 12 centre, Henry, sort of breaking the line very early and scoring a 30-40 metre runaway try. And I think that sort of set the tone for the boys and got the tails up. So yeah, it was a good day, good hard rugby.
This year will see the fixture take place at Boys High's famed Brook Street Fortress in Paarl, where the home team last downed Paarl Roos 29-10 in 2015.
One feels so blessed when you can stand there at the bottom of the lovely Paarl Mountain and have a look at the lovely surroundings and have a look at all these young men, and they're doing their best and they're singing and everybody's happy. And, one just feels so thankful to the good Lord for being able to stand there in that position. It's just something unique.
The pride for the boys to be able to play there, the boys, the first team especially, to be able to play at Brook Street, and for some boys when they get to their last match, it's really a very emotional moment for them to say, we matriculate here at the end of the year and this is our last game at Brook Street, so it becomes a very, very special occasion.
Hierdie jaar se wedstryd gaan ons by hulle speel. Die hele Stellenbosch gaan Paarl toe gaan en Boys High is sterk by die huis en ons verwag niks minder van hulle.
Maar ek glo nie dat dit vir ons so 'n groot neerslag sal wees om by Paarl Boys te speel. Ek meen, dit sal nog steeds 'n harde game wees en ons gaan nog steeds dieselfde ding doen en ons gaan rugby speel.
Both teams have had an industrious start to the 2017 season, courtesy of some big festivals. Paarl Roos have already been involved in 2 Premier Interschools fixtures, losing cruelly in the dying seconds to Paarl Gymnasium. Then in a near carbon copy fashion, the Maroon Machine were once again undone at the death, as Grey High School clinched a thriller in Port Elizabeth. However, more recently they had a close-fought battle against Saxe, winning 29-24. Boys High, meanwhile, comes off the back of a convincing 46-31 win over Grey College in Bloemfontein.
Yeah, really tough league. Every weekend is a test, but especially tough when you get against the old traditional rivals. So yeah, weekend after weekend test match.
Ek dink fisies op die lyf en emosioneel moet jy maar net jouself voorberei vir 'n harde game. Jy gaan altyd nog bump and bruises hê, maar tog weet jy dit is een keer in 'n jaar wat jy Paarl Roos speel, so jy moet maar net jouself mentally prepare.
Thousands of spectators, clad in the different colours of the two schools, will flock to the Brook Street grounds to catch a glimpse of rugby in its purest form. For these two proud rugby schools, this is so much more than just the first team encounter.
In die terme van die wedstryde teen Paarl Boys High is daar 26 spanne wat speel en elke liewe een is 'n tawwe wedstryd wat gaan tot op die einde om gewen te word en ons seuns sien baie uit daarna, veral ons E en F spanne.
The most important hallmark for me would be creating a system where all the boys get the opportunity to play. Our under 14 F side is just as important as our under 19 A side.
Saturday, 27 May, will set the scene for the 2017 edition of age-old rivalry between Paarl Boys High and Paarl Roos.
Ek is al lank genoeg betrokke in onderwys en spesifiek skoolrugby om te verstaan dat mens maak nie voorspellings nie, dis die vinnigste manier om jou geld te verloor. Al wat ek kan sê is ek glo Paarl Roos sal vuur op alle silinders en ek kan vir julle die versekering gee. Hierdie Boys High span, soos hulle sê, tradisioneel noem hulle ons treë the blue and the white and the blue. Hierdie Boys High span sal ten volle voorberei wees, baie goed toegerus wees en hulle sal alles wil gee vir hulle eie mense.
Ek het so 'n paar stukkies gesien van Paarl Boys High se games by die St. John's Easter Festival en ja, hulle lyk regtig nie sleg nie. Ek dink hulle is ook op vorm en ek meen met 'n paar games agter die rug ken hulle ook nou al mekaar in die spel. So ek dink dit gaan regtig 'n groot clash wees. Ek meen albei van ons spanne het goed voorberei en die einde van die dag dit gaan baie lekker wees. Ek dink ons gaan dit geniet.
Yes, we saw them at St. John's and We saw a few of the games and they really well. They nice playing as a unit and they're building their phases and just moving towards that game.
Well, given the past couple of years, we can expect an incredible challenge from Paarl Roos. They are very good in the tight phases. They will really challenge us there. And then obviously use their incredible backline. I think their scrum half, Yaas, I think is his surname. He's really excellent. And I think he's going to be an incredible challenge for us. And then obviously to get his backline on the go. But again, it depends on how effective your defence is. But it's going to be an incredible match.
Oh, I think you can really expect a fantastic display of gees on the pavilions. I think there will be people from all over the country, old boys, will be there to support. I mean, we had a big break last night, and just the gees is just fantastic. You know, I think so many of the boys that's not playing at the highest level, really, for them, that's the day to be on the pavilion to cheer on their team.
Yeah, I think, you know, every game is sort of a massive derby. Every school is very proud of its tradition and its heritage, so you can expect to have a couple of thousand people sitting in the stands with their colours on, and they're very loyal and very supportive of their boys. And that sort of, you know, you can see why people say that schoolboy rugby is the gem of South African rugby, just because of the spectators and the people that come out to support the boys playing.
Yeah, the energy, the war cries, both schools, you know, put in so much energy. They go through a lot of stuff, you know, just to make that day work, just that day in the year. But it's special to all of us, you know, in these days we remember just putting all of our effort and our bodies on the line on that day for our respective schools.
I think Boys Eye is definitely going into this game as the favourite, and hopefully if everything goes well, they will still be the favourites afterwards.
Today, we stand for all that is, for our heritage, our tradition, our future. Today, we become.
Watch Paarl Boys High versus Paarl Roos Gymnasium in Premier Interschools Rugby this Saturday, live on SuperSport.